Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Women in BIM mentoring introduction presentation. So I am Henry Femi Taylor. I'm on the executive team, and I have been supporting Women in BIM for years behind the scenes, and was very grateful when I was given the opportunity to support Women in BIM in front of the scenes. So here I am, and I do a number of things, including supporting with the podcast, etc. We, Women in BIM, are a global group, and it is made up of all of you and all of us. And it has been a wonderful journey over many years now that has really touched many lives and made a lot of difference in people's lives. And that's why we're here today, is to make a difference in people's lives. So our members come from all over the globe. We have so many different members, so many different people in different professions with different levels of experience. It's been a really wonderful opportunity for me to meet so many of these people and to be inspired by them and the roles that they're taking in driving BIM and digital transformation forwards in the built environment. Some nice familiar faces to me there. So what are our core themes at Women in BIM? So I think this is very important to focus on, so that we make sure that everything we do is aligned with the objectives and the goals of what we're trying to achieve. So at Women in BIM, we need to attract and encourage more women into digitally related careers. I'm very glad to see that this is being successful, that we are seeing more women coming and staying and returning to our industry in particular. We need to promote and support one another. So this is a huge part of the mentoring, is being able to support each other. And that leads into advancing and retaining. So making sure that women are empowered to have a prosperous and fulfilling career, and to make sure that they're properly represented throughout our sector, as that can be a huge problem. So I'm very passionate about making sure that we see more women in our sector come back, have lives that are fit into their particular situation. So today we'll talk about the mentor scheme, what's happened in the past, how applications and the selection process works, what you will be supplied with in terms of your resources, what you will get out of it, and how we will support you, and then any questions as well at the end. So please do take a note of this link. That is, for those who are in listen-only mode, www.mentee, MENTI.com, www.mentee.com, and use the code 19993702, and we will get to these questions, if you have any, at the end of the session. If I can work out how to use the link, but we've practiced. Rebecca has schooled me, so I should be fine. We should be able to make it through. But if you do have any questions, please do put them on that link. So the history of the mentor scheme is as follows. It started only a few years ago, and we wanted to support and encourage each other, and women especially, of course, in digital and BIM careers. So we are very keen to make sure that we are providing the best support we can. And I think there's been an amazing diversity of coaching and mentoring talent that has come through. People who have been mentees have expressed interest in becoming mentors, and I think that's exactly what we would like to see, because everybody has something that they're to share, and everybody has something to learn. So focusing on this kind of technology and collaboration space can be very different and difficult. There are lots of different careers in that, and we've learned a lot about this. Of course, Women in BIM is focusing on gender identity, but we do support our friends and allies to address the other aspects of inclusion. So we are bringing people in, and all sorts of people can be mentors into our program to support that. So yes, wow, coming up onto another year, and it's really important that we make sure that we understand how diverse we are as a group of practice in our sector. It's been running for 3 years, and we invite all of you to join, and so it's been extremely valuable to many people. The numbers have grown significantly over the years, so you can see on the screen now the sorts of statistics, and words like tripled have been very, very good to see. And I was, despite having been supporting Women in BIM in the background for years, I did my first mentoring last year, and I found it hugely rewarding. And I'm very glad to see these numbers improving. So what mentoring is depends on a lot of factors. We want to support global goals for diversity, and our platform is striving to achieve that. So in terms of the actual mentoring, we are talking about guidance of some description, listening, but we're not talking about training. And kind of tutorials in day-to-day technical issues, and we're not really able to intervene on your behalf, unless, of course, it becomes strictly necessary. Then, of course, we do what we have to. But we are really, what we are about is exchanging our knowledge and experience. So it is more than giving advice, because we're listening as well. So being able to listen, to be able to share the benefits of our experiences, and also perhaps signpost you to other people and initiatives, etc., and to help you help mentees identify their own goals, their own issues, and to talk through how that could be achieved in the mentee's life. So we're not expecting everybody to do it the way that the mentor did, but by understanding and respecting the differences, we can support one another to enable this growth. So this is what the mentor does. That describes on the screen, that describes my desire to do this in terms of supporting people. But it is also provides a number of other wonderful opportunities in terms of increasing your network, because the Women in BIM community is very well connected internationally. So you have a lot of great minds and a lot of great experiences to draw upon in the mentor network. It's sometimes the first time as mentors, it might be their first time, really working closely with somebody to help them develop. And that is extremely useful in terms of your own growth. And it really, I think, by doing something like this, it really enables you to understand your own role in your own life and how your career has been shaped, and those who have helped you. So it's a wonderful opportunity, and I really look forward to seeing many of you in our mentor program. And similarly, being a mentee, we've seen so much growth from our mentees, and as I say, some of our mentors, some of our mentees have become mentors, and indeed some of our mentors have spoken a lot about how they are still mentees. So some of our quite senior leaders in Women in BIM still have a mentor that they go to, and so despite this being for a specific cycle, we're talking about creating relationships here that can stand the test of time. So having somebody who can be a sounding board, but who might have experienced a similar situation or might know somebody who has, who can connect you into a wider group, a wider number of people, is really the thing that has driven me personally. So I am a mentee still. I still have a mentor. I'm hoping to come back to be a mentor again this year, of course. But you'll want to know, how is that done? So let's go into the process. So you have to become a Women in BIM member. So you have to head to www.womeninbim.org to get onto the website, and that has a number of other benefits. Obviously, there's all the news. There are the podcasts up there, all of the events, physical and webinars, as well as the partner and other mentor-mentee programs that are going on. There's a lot of stuff going on, and every year more things have been done. It's really an absolute credit to the Women in BIM team, the amount of effort and drive that has gone into developing Women in BIM. You can see here that the applications are open for becoming a mentor or a mentee. They close on Friday, the 3rd of March. So please do get along to that. If you have any questions about that, you will see that, in fact, Rebecca is in the background and has dropped the code into the chat for you all to ask your questions on. So do use that. But remember, 3rd of March, that's when we would really appreciate your applications by. So that's exactly 6 weeks. In terms of who can apply, I have alluded to this. Mentees are female members and supporters, but mentors can be any gender, any background, and we do support that. Hence, the diversity of mentors who are involved. We do want lots of different backgrounds, and we do think that that people have a lot to offer, and the Women in BIM members and the people that are here today have a lot to offer to the group. So please do consider that a lot of people can be a mentor, and if you don't feel that you can, please do ask. This is a quick question come in on the chat. Do you need X years experience to be a mentor? No, you don't. No, you don't at all. Please do apply. I think some of our mentors have not been in the career for years and years. I don't want to put a number on it because we don't have a number. We'll go through the process and we would talk with you directly. If you want to mentor, we would welcome that. That is what we would say. So it's all about finding the right person, effectively. So I have spoken to mentors who have worked with people who are very new into their careers, like very, very new. And there are also mentees who are far more advanced in their career. and mentors. So there's not kind of a distinct line. There is a shades of grey in terms of who can mentor and mentee. So we welcome those applications to be mentors if you feel that you would like to give back. And we always need more mentors, so please do. I hope that answers your question. So what we'll then do is, well, not I, but the royal we, women in BIM, once the applications are closed, we will review and analyse these to make sure that we can match people effectively. So the specific issues around who's not eligible. So, for example, the mentees should all be women. Mentors can be other genders as well. So it is important to kind of stipulate that this is still women in BIM. I know, but that will identify that. And we will, if there is any question about whether or not people feel that maybe you don't have enough experience to be a mentor, we will talk to you and we will reach out and have that conversation. So my feeling is I encourage you to be a mentor because we are, to be honest, I know Rebecca's listening, but to be honest, we have far more mentee requests than we have mentor requests. So I rate your chances. And through that process, once we've kind of filtered out any major issues and we're able to align people, because there was really some very good alignment in terms of what BIM is. We've had people who are in programming jobs, we've had people who do information management, the process side, people who are in product management, people who do 3D modeling, the BIM, the technical work, engineering, that sort of stuff. There's a big diversity of obviously things that come under BIM. So coupling that with where you are in your career is a huge factor in getting this right, and that's been something that I think has been really really wonderful in how these things are done. In terms of the question there about if you're in Australia and moving to the EU or UK and see if you could mentor in those countries, please do apply and we will make sure that you are matched with somebody who can give you that advice. The Australia, EU, UK connection is very strong in Women in BIM, so we will have advice for you on that. With all of these people who are supporting, who are mentoring, there are a lot of mentors, there are a lot of mentees who apply. There's a lot of different experiences, a lot of different motivations for doing this, and there's a lot of different things that you can get out of it. So regardless of which side you think you should be on, I'd urge you to apply, and we will work with you to make sure that comes out on the best side because of this matching criteria, which I think is something, having spoken to other mentors whose mentee-mentor relationship in other organizations might not have been as kind of ideal. I think this matching process has really given people the right people to talk to, and you'll be able to kind of specify this stuff in your application. So you'll be clear what things you will need to supply, and that will really help us. And like I said, this will be a conversation, so we'll work that forwards, and then you can begin mentoring and menteeing, which is effectively in the hands of the mentor and the mentee to coordinate dates and times, depending on who you get and what their diaries are like, frankly. Some people who, if you are fortunate enough to be a mentee who is matched with a mentor who is very busy, you might need to be a bit flexible. And similarly, it does go both ways. It is a two-way street. We are expecting from this, as a minimum, 6 sessions over a period of 6 to 9 months. So that is our expectation. that we place upon mentors and mentees, but that is by no means an obligation that you need to, we're going to strenuously abuse people for. This is, if you want to do more, and I certainly, my mentee and I did many more than 6 sessions last time, then that's great. We support that, but it's important to have that baseline in so that the expectations are clear. Of course, the mentor will be responsible for leading and facilitating the relationship. But we also expect, mentees to be self-motivated and be proactive in their participation. It is a two-way street. Please work with us, work with your mentor, work with your mentee, and it will be resolved. And we can always talk about this. Always, please. If there's any sorts of, when you get into mentoring and menteeing, if you need to talk, the Women in BIM team, the mentoring team, is always here for you. So we're always on hand to help. So, as I say, 6 meetings, minimum of 6 months. That is the baseline. If you want to carry on, please do. I'm still speaking to my mentee, and I'm very proud of the journey that they've been on, and of them, because it's wonderful to see somebody who's already growing continue to do so. But you're not doing this alone. There are a number of resources that you can take advantage of. There is the Women in BIM Mentor Handbook. Is clearly lays out the very specific elements of what needs to be done, what it is, its importance, recommendations for the format, schedule, type of discussions, the processes and requirements for mentoring. So it's a very useful document. Contains this information. So why women in BIM mentoring specifically, clear outline of those roles and responsibilities. There is also a mini handbook, as the Women in BIM mentoring handbook is comprehensive, shall we say. So that is really, there is a smaller version that is a little bit more digestible, which I'll be honest is the one that I read. Now we do record our sessions. It's obviously not compulsory. Every relationship is different. My mentee set up a Trello board to manage our discussion points and activities. And that was very helpful for me and for them. But we want to make sure that we're tracking progress and that we're going on a journey and things are improving together. There's also the various levels of support that you will find on YouTube and on the Women in BIM podcast as well, which I have to plug at some point. But we did run a mentoring episode last year, and there's a lot of wonderful resources there for people. And of course, we do have the wonderful mentoring support team. Natalia is the mentor lead and will be coordinating and managing and be responsible for dealing with how things go, obviously beyond that kind of individual responsibility that we all have to be a good mentor and a good mentee. And the ever ready Nicole is also always on hand to troubleshoot, manage, coordinate, etc. And between the two of them, we're in very safe hands in terms of this mentoring program, and we wouldn't be where we are today in terms of those numbers that we saw if it wasn't for them. So I don't think they're here, but thank you, he says into the ether. Right, so benefits of the scheme. Let's go through those again. Let's finish on a high. So we are talking about career progression. We are talking about networking. We are talking about increased productivity, effectively looking at teams, how you can grow your capability and your team's capability. If you've not mentored or or if you've not mentored or had a mentor before, I think you will see how beneficial it can be to you and your career, and how you might take mentoring forwards in terms of using it in your own place of work and in your own life. Really, we're talking about creating opportunities for women, and that is really important to what we're doing. It can be difficult working, you know, so having somebody to talk to for both of you can be really beneficial for your mental health, but also get you promoted, and it can support your career in both directions. So, in terms of that criteria that we there was a question before, things you do need to have. You do want to help and support people if you wish to be a mentor. You can listen, actively listen, and you are willing to ask those important questions, and you know, speak your mind appropriately. But you don't need to be the executive director of XYZ, or be qualified as a mentor, or identify as a woman. So we welcome you. Being a mentor is hugely rewarding. It's I felt I made a difference, you know, although it's not me that did any of the changes. You know, I didn't change my career. I didn't get a better job, but my mentee did, and you know, I'm just going to bask in that reflected glory, even though it's, you know, I was just there to listen and ask questions, and you know, be a source of reflection, and to, you know, also potentially provide you know, some occasionally well needed positive reinforcement. It feels good to do that. It feels good to give back, and it has changed my attitude to developing talent within my own organization. So I have certainly learned how to, I think, be a better leader. Maybe not manager, but definitely leader. So this has helped. It's helped me massively. So, in terms of what we will expect from people and what they will need to know, etc., we're not expecting you to know ISO 19650 backwards. You don't need to do that. You don't need to, yes, provide that technical training. You don't have to go to industry events together. But you could, and you can, and it's a wonderful opportunity to meet, because often these meetings will be virtual. Working with people, listening, showing people resources, helping them build their skills in the sense of pointing them towards resources, and perhaps making connections, is all helpful. So being honest as well, without necessarily, it is difficult, you know, because you aren't running that person's life for them, but you can discuss your experiences and how it made you feel being in a similar situation, or how you can relate. Being open, listening is a key tip. So that honesty is, you know, also about self-reflection. So you don't need to be the you know, the ISO 19650 resource. There's plenty of resources for that. You can point people towards those things. We do urge you to meet physically, and events such as Women in BIM events, which is where I met my mentee in person for the first time, and also really honest communication and clarity and kindness. will go a long way. So if you would like to be a Women in BIM mentee, we would ask that you have these three things: that you identify as a woman or a person of a minority gender, that you work in or aspire to work in BIM or the digital aspect of the construction or indeed built environment sector, and that you want to develop and you're willing to listen and grow. So constructive feedback is a key part of this process. You will, yes, these aspects speak for themselves, and they are very useful for you in your life and moving forwards. You'll have to do, as a mentee, you'll have to work in your own time on these things, and you have to ask your mentor. They can't, this is about communication, so you need to be able to listen to and speak your mind and ask those questions however you do them, and get those opportunities to move these things forwards, because as a mentor, I can speak from the experience that you can't read minds. So I don't want to lead somebody down the wrong path by giving advice when I don't know the full information. So we need to be open as mentors and mentees to make sure that we get the most out of it. In terms of the specifics, the mentors will have regular sessions where we will be guiding the mentors in how to mentor and just get their feedback, really. And the mentees will be invited to complete a survey that will allow us to improve the Women in BIM mentoring program as we go forwards. And for the first time this year, you will get a certificate at the end of your 6-month mentoring journey. It is a completion certificate from the Women in BIM Mentor Scheme, and I think it's a wonderful initiative to thank everybody who's been involved in the process. It's really important that we come together. We have done these events in lots of different methodologies before. We do try and get people together as often as we can. And it's very important that we use the mentoring program to grow our networks. So I am very grateful for these opportunities that we've had to meet so many people. I've met people from all across the Women in BIM community, from Italy, Portugal, Australia, America, Asia. It's been really amazing to see the huge network of people that are involved, and to be a part of that. So we will be running these workshops, and we will go through these elements this year. So this is another element of the mentoring program that has grown based on the feedback that we've received. So we'll be going through the BIM basics and information management principles, looking at career coaching, the BIM processes and client requirements aspects, as well as the culture and change management across the industry, which is going to support our mentees moving forwards. Now, in terms of any questions, there's been some questions in the chat. I wonder if people have used the Mentimeter app. Let's just have a look. I have a link here that I have to follow and look at. And I'm just bringing that up now. Will you always be matched with someone in the same country or city? So I think I can pull this up over here. There we go. Yes. Not necessarily. I think the the majority of people, unless you specifically ask for somebody from a different country for a specific purpose, you will be matched with somebody from the same country. This, in terms of how this has worked practically, country city has been less important than language. So we have matched different language speakers with the same language in different regions before, because that has been the most important part. But as a general rule of thumb, they are usually they will be in the same country, certainly, and they will be in the same region. So, for example, my mentor, my mentee, and I are both in the southeast of the UK. So we were able to meet in a pre-designated location. Another mentor mentee that I spoke to, their mentee was in Holland, in the Netherlands, rather, I should say. As yes, I understand the difference. If you know, you know, between Holland and the Netherlands. So not always, but we do seek to. If it's a special requirement that you have, then we can accommodate that. Can you apply to be both a mentor and a mentee? You will. The system will not like it, but you can, and I would encourage you to do so. But we'll need to keep our eyes peeled for that. So we don't want to overburden you unnecessarily with too many things. So I would encourage you to do that if that's how you feel. But alternatively, bear in mind that I suspect, and this is up to the mentor leads, they would rather you chose one in the end, depending on how that works. But if you have the time and the capacity, please do, because we welcome people who wish to mentor our mentee. One of the things that came out of last year for me, speaking to mentors, mentees, I alluded to, well, I said this earlier, was that even if you have a mentee, you still need a mentor. And it's quite humbling to hear how those relationships have played out for other people in the past. So yeah, I think you certainly can. There are any more questions? They were in the chat. It's mentee.com, code 1993702. Otherwise, we will complete early. I will drop the link into the chat for you to sign up. Hopefully, if I can find it in time. There it is. There is the link for all of you to go and join, become mentors, become mentees, do these things. I should have known how the specific application form worked. Yes, they are separate buttons, but you can, if you check out this site, you can click on your mentor scheme, read all about the mentoring scheme, see how long it is open for. You'll see these events that we have and how they're aligned. And then you can fill out this form here. So if you fill out this form correctly, obviously with all the red stars completed, I'm sure you've all done forms online, but you can also do the mentee form as well. So thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate your attending, and I hope that it is been of use to you. And I will also drop that link to join, because you need to be a member to be a mentor or a mentee. Drop that link into the chat as well. Otherwise, I'd like to thank you all very much for attending today. I hope it has been of use and that you'll be interested in joining us as a mentor or a mentee. If there are any more questions, please do reach out to the team. You can contact us on LinkedIn, obviously, but obviously we're here as well, and you can use the Mentor Scheme links on there, and they will be in touch. Thank you very much for attending today. You all have, because I speak so fast, another 19 minutes back in your day that you might otherwise not have had. So thank you very much for attending. We look forward to having you here, and we will see you soon on the Mentor Scheme. I've been Henry Finley Taylor, and I would like to thank you all for coming today. Thank you very much.